So today we're going to talk about in the 7 jewels of the Arya, the next two, which are integrity and consideration for others. Sometimes people translate integrity as shame, but shame is a really loaded word in our culture. If you translate it as shame, there's a good kind of shame, you know, where you kind of feel like, ugh, you know, I shouldn't have done that. But then we usually associate shame with the bad kind of shame, where you feel awful about yourself. So that's why I don't like to translate it that way. So it's more like a sense of integrity or self-respect, whereby because we have respect for ourselves and our spiritual path, therefore we don't engage in non-virtuous actions. Okay? And then consideration for others is a similar thing, but the reason for not engaging in detrimental actions is because we realize that our behavior influences others. Okay? So out of consideration for them, then we don't do something harmful. So these two are said to be the root of keeping good ethical conduct, because without them and having the opposite, non-integrity and non-consideration of others, then we just do whatever, you know, and we don't care what we do. And thus we damage others and damage ourselves. The thing about integrity that I think is so important is we really have to respect ourselves and feel good about ourselves and have this sense of, you know, I'm a Dharma practitioner, I'm somebody who's really trying to do something good in this world, or I'm somebody who's trying to control my mind, and that's something valuable. And so because I treasure that, because that's a principle for me, I don't want to act contrary to it. Okay, so it comes from really thinking about what our values are and what principles we want to live by in our life. Okay? So if you want to increase it, then you need to think about those kinds of things, yeah, so that you have that in your mind. And then if some situation comes up in which our habitual tendency is to act in a detrimental way, we hold ourselves back from it because we have that sense of our own integrity and we don't want to behave like that. You know, because the thing is, if we don't have this integrity, then, like I said before, we do whatever, and then afterwards, how do we feel? Guilty. That's when the negative sense of shame comes, doesn't it? Then we get all full of remorse, and we're sitting there going around in circles about how terrible we are, and, you know, we beat ourselves up, and that doesn't do anybody any good. Whereas if you prevent that by having that sense of integrity and knowing what our principles and values are, that's quite good. Okay? So let's stop there for today, and then tomorrow we'll do more on consideration for others.